Good morning. Hello, everybody. All right, while we're waiting for some people to log in and join us, I'm just going to get us set up with our slides for today and everything we need. So give me a few minutes. I'm going to share some things. All right, good morning. Okay, let me, man, this happened last time too, didn't it? Okay, here we go. There it is, got the right thing. Okay, so I hope that you were able to meal plan this past week. In our last video, we chatted a lot about how to meal plan and the actual physical process of meal planning. So this week, we are going to kind of review that process a little bit, kind of troubleshoot any issues you might have had with meal planning last week and how it went. And then we're going to get into the meal prep part of your meal plan. So you make this plan, and now what? How do you stick to it? How do you make it realistic for your life? So, as we're kind of waking up here and joining me, let's chat about what went well with your meal plan. So, if you head down in your video, there is a spot where you can click more, and then at the very top, there's something that says chat. So, if you click that, it'll pull up a chat box, and you can answer the questions that I have. The questions that I have going throughout this video training. So that is a good place to contact me. Okay, if you are watching the replay, however, you can respond to my questions via email or in the Facebook group, which I'm so sorry about the Facebook group. I have no idea what's going on over there. I have a help ticket into Facebook. I don't know why it's not working, but I'm going to start emailing out questions every day so that we can have that conversation going together. So that's if you're watching the replay and then moving forward for the rest of the week. All right, so what went well with your meal plan this week? Let me know. Were you able to stick to it? Were you able to make healthier choices because you had it planned out? Did you notice any kind of difference in the amount of food you were consuming versus wasting? Was mealtime easier? Let me know how it went. And then what were some of the struggles that you had with meal planning this past week? Because it's not easy, especially in the beginning when you're just starting out. It is not easy to, one, make a meal plan, and then two, stick to it, especially if you're kind of used to flying by the seat of your pants. Okay, so let me know what went well and what some of the struggles were. And then if you would like to access these slides, you can head to that link, and then you can have the slides up and in front of you as we go through them. So in case I miss anything or you have to step away for a minute, you can always come back and refer to them. So then I am Brooke, and I am an ACE certified health coach and an NASM certified personal trainer. And I do the blogging and personal training and health coaching over at wreckingroutine.com. And I'm just so glad that you're here and part of this challenge, because I know for me personally, a little bit about my background is I put on a lot of weight in the last year and a half of college, and then into my adult life, about 2 years into my adult life, and realized after my study abroad, my junior year of college, I realized I had put on a lot of weight. And then when I was living on my own in Arizona for a while after graduation, I realized that I really needed to make some changes to my lifestyle with how I was working out and eating. And so that is when I started meal planning, and that is about 10 years ago. And now I still do it and have maintained a healthy weight for, the last very, very consistently for the last 8 years, except for 2 pregnancies. So anyway, that's a little bit about why I'm so passionate about meal planning. Okay, So our challenge objectives for today's video are number 3 and 4. So to limit food waste through meal planning and meal prepping. So we're going to focus on that meal prepping part, and we're going to review that meal planning part. And then number 4, to save time on meal prepping by planning ahead and prioritizing kitchen tasks. So this is the one where we really focus on our meal plan and then how to take that meal plan and translate it into some organized meal prep. Last week, we chatted about planning nutritious meals for the entire week by following a plate building formula, and we're going to review that today. And we also chatted about saving money on grocery bills by using grocery apps and a grocery list. We're also going to review that today. Okay, last week we also chatted briefly about involving the family. So I'm curious from you, and you can let me know in the chat or you can let me know via email if you're on the replay, is what other ways do you involve the family with the meal planning, the cooking, the meal prep? So I shared a couple of ideas with you, and I'm curious to hear from you as well, is what other ways do you do this? So we talked about researching recipes together, finding ones that your kids might be interested in and checking with them ahead of time, like, hey, would you like to try this? You know, those kinds of things. And maybe if it's something like cauliflower mac and cheese, you don't really tell them that it's cauliflower, but you would say, hey, what about this mac and cheese? It uses a couple of vegetables. Why don't we give it a try? And making it kind of fun that way. Going shopping together if your kids can handle it, or shopping together with your spouse if your kids are grown and out of the house, so that you can make choices together and you can do some of that price comparison together. Like, hey, you know, are we going to buy these Doritos for $3.99, or are we going to buy these 5 bell peppers for $3.95? And which one, you know, with it in front of your spouse or your children, like which one is going to give us the most benefit for what we're trying to do here for ourselves and for our families. Another option could be to cook together or take turns. I know over here, Rob and I tend to do both of those, and it really helps, you know, if you need a full night off, or, you know, someone gets something ready and then someone else takes over, you know, it kind of helps alleviate that, oh, I've been in the kitchen for 45 minutes and, you know, it's not done and you're frustrated. You know, you can each take 20 minutes and kind of get it done. And then starting a rating system. This works especially well with some pickier eaters. So you can get a chart going in your kitchen of new foods that they could try, and they can rate them or use stickers. Our 3-year-old is very into stickers right now. They are everywhere. So any type of rating system that might work for you and your family. So what other ideas do you have to involve the family in the food, the meals, in that process? Let's hear some of those. All right. So, quick review on building a nutritious meal. So there's 2 ways you can put a nutritious meal together. And I'm curious, how did you build your meals last week? We talked about this breakdown chart here, but how did you go about planning your meals for the week? Was it kind of based on what you had in the house? Did you go through the My Plate breakdown? Did you go through the daily percentages breakdown? Which way did you kind of meal plan? And if you still winged it, let us know. And then I'm going to ask you why. So if you went through this training and you sat through the video and you've been doing check-ins and all of that, why did you still just wing your meal plan? Okay, if you know the benefits and you want to make this commitment to yourself, why did you still just leave it up to chance? All right, so to build a nutritious meal, half your plate should be fruits and vegetables. That should make up half your plate. So not just like a little portion of green beans on the side or a little bit of broccoli or whatever your vegetable is going to be. but it should be half your plate, okay? That gives us all that healthy fiber, those nutritious carbohydrates, all of those wonderful things for your body. Then about a quarter of your plate can be a whole grain, and you can pick the type of grain that you want to put there, whatever works best for your body. Then you need another quarter of your plate should be a lean protein. And whether you are going more the vegetarian routes or you are a meat eater, that protein should be lean and should be about a quarter of your plate. So keep that in mind. And then a healthy fat should be included, and that's about 2 thumbs worth. So whether that's a dressing or an avocado or a certain type of oil, whatever it is, you shouldn't go overboard with it. And then if you want to follow the daily percentages in your whole day, this is the breakdown of these macronutrients that you should be getting. So 45 to 65% of fruits and vegetables and whole grains, that's combined into one lump, because in macro world, they don't separate that whole grain and fruits and vegetables are both carbohydrates. They just, they lump it all together. But I would recommend that a large portion of that should be the fruits and vegetables portion. And then in the daily percentages, 10 to 35% should be your protein, and then your healthy fat should be about 20 to 35%. So you can kind of choose how you want to break it down, what's easiest for you. I tend to go by the My Plate breakdown, because if every single meal that I'm putting together is kind of based in this shape of the plate, then I know that I'm on the right track. And I don't want to spend time calculating my daily percentages. So, but you choose, if you love your data and you want to get into the numbers of everything, then go for daily percentage ones. Just do the one that is going to work the best for you, whichever one that is. All right, so let's get into meal planning for next week. All right, so grab your calendar, get out your Google Calendar, and let's start looking at what is coming up for you in the coming week. So you should have a meal plan up until today, because last week we meal planned for about a week out, and then you should be ready to figure out what's going to come next. So while our slide is loading here, let's try that again. Nope, we're still loading. All right, we'll give this a minute. So let me know, what are some exciting things you have coming up in your week next week? Like what are some of the major events? I know for us, we are headed to see my family in New York on Friday. So we're going to have a pretty short meal planning week, which is kind of fun. Okay, the one slide here, we'll just take the ugly view of it. Here it is. Let's try this if I present it from right here. Oh man, it still doesn't want to come up big. Okay. All right, so creating your meal plan. We'll just look at it like this, and then I'll make it big again. So we went through these 6 steps last week in video 1. But to create a meal plan, you need to look ahead at your schedule. So minimum, I want you to plan 3 days out. If you are like me and do not enjoy going to the grocery store more than once a week, I plan for 6 or 7 days out. So put a star next to your busy nights of the week where you know you need to plan something easy for dinner and something easy to prepare for the next day. Because if you have a hectic night, you're not going to be able to prepare your lunches the night before, or you might, wake up in the morning tired after your busy night. So you're going to want something easy to throw together for lunch or for breakfast, especially if you're eating out of the house. Start by planning your hardest meal first. So whether that's dinner, I know for me it's lunch. So start with that meal first and build it out with the macro chart that we just went over. So whether you're going on the plate percentages, the plate breakdown, or you're going on a percentage breakdown, make sure you build it with those macros in mind. And then for a challenge, last week I challenged you to incorporate 1 vegetarian meal. This week I'm going to challenge you to try 1 new recipe this week, and take that with with an eye on your calendar too. If you know that this upcoming week is just super hectic and there is no new recipe happening because you're barely going to get dinner on the table, then save that challenge for next week. But if you have a little tiny bit of extra time, why don't try it? Go into your Pinterest board, because I know you have one that has some recipes on it, or go into the challenge ideas spreadsheet where there's a bunch of different meal ideas, and go in and pick a recipe to try, whether you try it for lunch or breakfast or dinner, whatever, but try something new to add into your rotation. And then step 4 is plan your other meals and snacks. So if you started with lunch, maybe now you're going to build out your next hardest meal, which might be dinner, and then you can build in your snacks from there. Step 5 is write your grocery list and check the grocery apps. So if you have your grocery list, sometimes there's really good deals on the grocery apps, or there's a certain brand that you can buy that might be cheaper with the grocery coupon as well, but don't miss out on those deals. Or if it's something like there is a sale on broccoli, but you wrote down green beans for the week, you can switch them. That's kind of like an easy interchange to make. And then update the ideas list. So a lot of you have been asking me for meal ideas. We have this challenge ideas spreadsheet, which you can click. And why don't we, let's see. Yeah, you can just click this link right here and it takes you to the challenge ideas spreadsheet. So we have all these ideas here. You can add to this as part of being in our challenge, and just see what else you can come up with. Okay, so that's how a little bit of review on how we do our meal planning. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. So then make sure you check those grocery saving apps. And then here they are again, if you didn't get a chance to download them. Ibotta is a really great one, but you do have to look at some of the brands on there. They do have some like generic items that you can grab. So check that out. And then Fetch Rewards is a great one. They pay out really quickly. Your points add up really fast. So definitely look into that one. Saving Star, Checkout 51 are a slower build. You have to be on top of it for those. Check your stores app, because they usually have their own coupons. The crazy coupon lady is all about her Target, so you can check with her and get some good deals. And then the Sunday paper as well is full of coupons, and then you can look ahead to what those inserts and those coupons will be to determine if you need the paper for that week. So some tips there. Oh, you gotta love technology, don't you? We're all just loading this morning. Okay, let's see. All right, we're gonna do it this way. You get to see all my bookmarks and those exciting things. Okay, so, oh, I see the problem. I have a picture over here and it didn't load here. There you go. Okay, so the question, let's get into the meal prep portion. So how much meal prep are you currently doing? Let me know in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, shoot me an email. How much meal prep are you currently doing? So around here, the very bare minimum of meal prep is preparing some snacking vegetables. So I chop up things like cucumbers, carrots, bell peppers, celery. I don't enjoy celery, but Rob does. So chopping those up and putting them in a big Tupperware together, or separate Tupperwares or whatever. And then we can just pull those out and eat them with hummus, eat them straight up, eat them, chop them up finer and put them in a salad, whatever it is. It just makes it really quick. So at the bare minimum, I really try to get some snacking vegetables done. Other things you can meal prep, and we're going to get into this. You can meal prep the grain for the meal, you can defrost the meats, things like that if you are very limited on time. So why meal prep? Yeah, my videos are not loading, or my pictures. Okay. So why meal prep? So it limits the snacking on empty foods, things like Doritos. So if you know that you've meal prepped some, cucumbers or carrots, you can grab those instead because you know that's going to be a healthier choice for your body. And then it prevents food waste because you know that it's prepped and ready to go. So you're more likely to grab it and eat it. It makes you mindful of what you are eating. It gives you ownership over what you eat because it's not like, oh, it's not ready and I'm so tired and I just can't do it. No, it's like, okay, I already did this, so I can just grab it and go and I've got this. And then it helps you to know your ingredients. Like you know exactly what you have going into your meals because you are the one who prepped it and planned it. All right, here is a list of things you can do in 20 minutes. So if you only have 20 minutes once a week, or you only have 20 minutes a couple times a week, you can get a lot done. So if you don't have an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, like you see on some of these, meal prep Instagrams or whatnot, or on Pinterest, you can still get a lot done. So wash fruit, wash vegetables, chop fruit, chop vegetables, batch cook rice, quinoa, beans, or pasta, defrost meat, portion meals into containers, portion snacks, marinate meat, cook meat, make a casserole. And I recommend you make two and put one in the freezer for later, maybe in a couple weeks when you know you have a really busy night coming up, you just pull it out and it's done. So just double the recipe. Prepare smoothie packs, meal plan for next week, write a grocery list, hard boil some eggs, make a sauce or a dressing. So these are, a lot of options you can do really quickly. And a lot of these are things you can do. Like if you're going to batch cook some rice, our rice takes 20 minutes. So you can set it on the stove, go do some homework help, and then come back to it. Or defrosting meat, you can pull it into the fridge, a day or two before. Marinating meat, start marinating it, put it in the fridge and leave it and go drive a kid to an activity and come back and it's ready to go. There's some very quick things you can do so it doesn't feel overwhelming when you come to street meal time. So which one of these meal prep in 20 minutes or less options do you think you're going to use the most often? So I know for us, washing our fruit and vegetables and chopping our vegetables is part of our meal plan. We do that a lot. All right, a plan to prep. Okay, so you can't see my image here. I'll pull up another one, but so what is the toughest ingredient for you to meal prep? I'm curious. Because if you set aside your time, 20 minutes, 2 to 3 days a week, or 1 to 2 hours once a week, you're going to get a ton done. Then also part of your plan to prep is you have to start with a trouble meal on the busiest day of your week. So that means, this is not showing. Okay, so that means like if you know your Tuesday night, you have 3 different activities to get to, it's going to be super hectic, there's no time. Then if you know you're having, chicken broccoli rice casserole, what can you do on Sunday night when you might have a little bit of time while the football game is going to get that ready? Do you defrost the chicken? Do you cook the broccoli? Do you cook the rice? Do you put it all together and throw it in the freezer? There's steps that you can do one at a time to get there and to make that night not so hectic because dinner is done. And now you don't have to pick up fast food. 1, fast food can get really expensive. 2, it is not nutrient dense. And 3, now you're going to know what your ingredients are so your family and yourself are eating better. Now, the third thing you have to do or think through is preparing the hardest part of all the meals first. So if the hardest part for you is chopping the vegetables and getting that portion done, do it ahead when you do have the time. Or if okay, Tuesday night you're going to have rice bowls that involve bell peppers, and then Thursday night you're having fajitas that are also going to include bell peppers, chop the bell peppers for both meals at the same time. So if you have time on Tuesday night to do that, then you chop them for the salad and then you chop them for Thursday night's fajitas, and then if you have a little bit of extra time, you put a little extra chopped peppers into your snacking vegetable Tupperware. So then you're done, and it doesn't even feel like it was very arduous or you missed a lot of time. And then is the hardest part of the meal defrosting and cooking the meats. So you can defrost and cook your meat in the same day, or you can do it over the course of 2 days, but then you know that your meat is done, and it's not like, oh, you get home from work and your meeting ran late and shoot, the meat is still frozen. So what are you going to do? So that's another way to make that happen. And then, or is the hardest part preparing grains, because rice takes 20 minutes. And if you're going to do beans not from a can, that takes longer, and all those things. So you can prep big batches of these foods ahead of time so they're ready to go. All right, and then we have, let's see if I can pull this up for you, this meal prep planning guide. So this is kind of what I was chatting about. If you are a pen and paper person and you want to plan this out in more detail, you have access to this. So this is an example of the meal prep planner. So you have your days of the week, what meal you're going to have, and I would start with your toughest meals, whether that's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then you have your meal prep checklist. Everything you need to do to get this meal on the table goes under the checklist side of this chart. So turkey enchiladas, defrost the turkey, cook the turkey, wash the peppers, chop the peppers and onion, and then fill tortillas. That is basically everything that goes into making my version of turkey enchiladas. You might have some secret family recipe that takes a lot longer, but here's mine. So if I know my Monday is busy, what can I do today, or what can I do when I have a minute to get this ready? And then you can go through and check it off as it's done, and you can print this and put it in your fridge so you know, or whoever's helping you cook knows, all right, mom already defrosted the turkey and she already washed the peppers, so I just have to cook the turkey, chop the peppers and onion, and fill tortillas. That makes life a lot simpler. So you just have this whole list that you can run through, and then you have access to this. You get this blank meal prep checklist as well, so you can fill it in yourself. And then down here, these are some affiliate links, but items that we cannot live without around here. These great Tupperwares, a grill basket, our Instapot, Slap Chop, good knives, so I gave you a couple of suggestions if you need some items like that. All right, so there we have it for, well, it says ask, but there we have it for our meal prep planning and our meal prep guide. So if we quickly review our challenge objectives for today, is to limit food waste through meal planning and meal prepping, and then to save time on meal prepping by planning ahead and prioritizing kitchen tasks. So that's where that chart comes into play. So let me know what questions you have. I am here for you throughout this process. And this challenge runs until Monday. So as you head into your weekend to do your meal planning and your grocery shopping, just know that I'm here to answer any questions you might have and to help you through this process. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful Thursday, and I will chat with you later.